Wow. All right. Welcome again. Welcome. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your grace and your mercy, your loving kindness toward us. Oh God, forgive us of our sin. Thank you, Lord, for keeping us throughout the night, keeping us throughout this day for such a time, God, that we could come together and just talk to one another about the things that we are dealing with in and of the earth. We know that you are headmaster, oh God. We are we all know that you are Jehovah Jireh, our provider. We know, God, that you are Jehovah Rapha, God. We know that you are Jehovah Sitkinu, God. We know, oh God, that you are at the beginning, amen, at the end, Lord God. We thank you for continuing to, Lord, just be with us as we go through this podcast. Oh God, that we open our hearts and minds to what each other has to say, that there be no judgment, oh God, here on this podcast. We just want to say that we love you and we adore you and we lift you up in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right. I thank everyone. We're going to get to it now, man. So, listen, we got a good show for y'all tonight. Hey, Tasha, all the way up from the PM, Potomac, Maryland in the house. What's going on?
Remove the meeting notice.
Hey, all I see is your forehead, Tasha. You trying to get a little bit more? Yeah, there you go. We ain't no forehead shots. There we go. Amen. All right.
You got to remove your notice.
What's that?
The meeting notice. The recording notice.
No, that stays up. You talking about in the corner?
Okay, if it stays up, it's blocking everything.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know that this thing has to stay up.
When you say blocking everything, what you talking about, Rudy? You don't see me?
I see a portion of you.
How about everybody else? Do y'all see the whole me or a portion?
I see you.
Yeah, so Rudy, that's on your side. That ain't nothing over here. Everybody else sees all of me. So
well, yeah, it's gone now.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. You know, a little technical difficulty. We run into that from time to time. The devil trying to stop something that move forward. Y'all know that. That's good. Amen.
Well, yes, we're all learning.
Yes, indeed. Still, after a year of Evangelist and I doing this, man, we're in our second year now. We're recording now, and we're going out to different platforms. So, guys, guess what? We're doing very well, man. Just to let you guys know, I looked at our traction on YouTube, and we are growing up. Everything is green lit, green thumbs up. What happens on YouTube is we get stats analysis. So it shows us what kind of traction we get. It shows us who's listening, who's looking at the videos and all. And there are a lot more people looking at our video content. So we're doing very well. Let's continue to monitor our comments and things, because we no longer have Ken and Danielle on the podcast with us. So First Lady has taken over the editing department and doing the things that needs to be done. So we don't want to have to give her a lot to do. And look, y'all, I don't even have her with me tonight to tap me on the leg if I get out of control. So y'all got to help me.
I'm still.
She's at her mom's house. Her mother is on with us tonight, Miss Barbara White, Mom Barbara. She's on with us tonight as well, guys. She had a surgery today, so First Lady is over there with her, attending to her mama, my mama, right, your mama, right, everybody mama.
Take care of mama. Amen.
So we got let's get ready to get it, man. Let's get ready to get it. We're gonna hit our comment section. Segment. So actually, you know how I told you, we look on our comments to see if anybody has responded to anything, and we actually had a comment based on Umar Johnson. Everybody remembers what we did on the rap video, the one about the hardcore rap and all that, right? So we had a guy that responded, but I couldn't quite understand what he was trying to say. So he responded, Umar, Dr. Umar's first name with 4 question marks. And then it said, you must be scammers too. So I responded to him and asked him to elaborate and give us a little bit more of what he's talking about. He hasn't responded and came back. So to that viewer, his name is Mr. Check this out, Mr. Last name is Mistah. Mr. We want you to understand that we ain't scamming nobody for any reason. We don't have a need for that. This is a podcast that gives information. We share information so we can reunite America. So I don't know what you meant by scamming and all of that there, but we ain't after nothing that you got, Mr. or anybody else. So I hope that clears it up for him. You feel free to go on our website, Mr. and comment. Leave your email so you can join us and see what we're actually really doing. We invited all of our viewers to do the same. So guys, in our first section, also in our comment section, I want to share just real quick and to let you guys know, we scaled down to about an hour and 15 minutes. We're no longer going that hour and 45 minutes. Did a little research on podcasting and found that, most podcasts last about an hour or so. So we've been way over the limit. so we scaled it back. Amen, like y'all know how to do. All y'all sitting there like y'all. Y'all know how I do it. I'm gonna wake you up with all this noise I got back here, all these gadgets. Y'all sitting there. I don't know if the screen froze or what's going on. Y'all are literally that still. I'm like, is the screen frozen? So we just, listen, man. Election season is up. The topic tonight is going to be on bullying and these SRO officers that are armed to the teeth. Woo! At our schools. Did you ever think you'd see that in 2022? And we'll get to it. Well, we got our comment section. It's election season, man, and I tell you guys, I ain't got a clue. When my wife and I, we get to talking about these candidates that's running for office, these guys are horrible. I'm talking about when they go to talking about get their campaign running, and the people that they run against, they know these people. They're friends with them. They probably know their kids. They probably done ate together. And they go stand the terrible worst things in the world about this candidate. You know the candidate that I want to vote for, y'all? I want to vote for the candidate that can run on his own merits. He's going to say, here's what I stand for. It doesn't matter what this guy did or didn't do for you. Here's what I plan to do for you if you elect me. I want to see the candidate that can run on his own merits and he doesn't have to disparage any other person or bring up any other person. Because think about this. When this candidate says all these terrible things about this person, how did that person get in office, right? And then we want to vote him back in. But then I say this. If me and Jack are homies, me and Jack are best friends, which we are, we're really good friends. I don't know if we're best friends, but we're really good, close friends. And me and Jack just reunited a while back, and he came on to the podcast and everything. And I'm grateful for him and his wife coming on. But me and Jack are homies, man. We're good buds, and we know each other. But it's a position on the job that both of him are being offered. We both are being offered the same position. And they called me in the office. And hey, Tyler, we want to put you for this position. What do you think about Jack? And I know you and Jack are friends. Do you think Jack would make a good? And I don't know if it would be foolish of me or not to say something good about Jack. But I certainly ain't gonna say anything bad about it. I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna probably say, well, listen, this is what if you hire me, I'm gonna bring to the position. I ain't gonna talk about my man Jack because Jack's a good dude. Jack is a hard worker. I know him. He loves his family. He's a church-going brother, good brother, and I know him. That's about all I'm gonna say, Jack. I ain't gonna let you know what I mean, give you the head up on me. But no, you understand? I'm not gonna say all these terrible things about this guy, man. It's just terrible. So who do we elect? Are you kidding me? These people that are running for office, all of them are 77 years old, 87, 89, 90 years old. Look at Nancy Pelosi, Biden. You're talking about what's the other dude on the Republican side? I don't even remember his name. Huh?
Trump.
What's it? Well, Trump ain't even running. If they re-elect him, all of America has lost their minds. But you know, I see this dude that's running, this young cat that's running, and real young fella, man. He's talking about, you know, elect him, and he's got some great things that he wants to bring up and do. And if we're preparing America the future, you know the song, I believe the children are the future. Teach them well. But if the children are our future, we can't keep electing these old 80-some-year-old people that the next day they could die from a heart attack. I'm just keeping it real with you. So we got to start thinking about who we want to put in office. For me, it's a hard pill, and we don't know who's doing what. Even if you know about these people, you read about them, they're gonna tell you what they want you to hear. They're gonna tell you what they're gonna say to get elected, and then when they get in, they kind of do what they want. So that's my comment. That's the comment section. It's not for a debate or anything. I just want to throw that out there, put something on your mind as you go to the polls, man. Really pay attention to what you're doing. You know, who we want in office, who we want to elect. For us down here in Florida, it's slim pickings for us down here in Florida who we want. I know who I'm not voting for. You can believe that. Hey, huh? Yeah, you know, I know who I'm not voting for. So check this out. So let's go ahead and we're gonna do this right now. We're gonna go ahead and go into our give me your thoughts segment. So I want y'all to give me your thoughts on this. All right. So listen to this. This is what a guy said in the 7th district of now this is for us down here in Florida. I don't know how it is for Tasha up there in Maryland. Jack, I don't know who y'all's what's going on up there in Thug City, Thug Crew from Bellevue. I don't know what's going on up there with y'all. But check this out. So it's a guy named, his name is Elik Pastrana, right? He says this. Now this comes under ideas for boosting a sagging economy. This is an idea that a candidate is talking about doing. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this. So this is for Orange County, a small portion of Orange County, all of Seminole and Southern Volusia County. He says one of the things that he would like to see happen is legalize marijuana everywhere, right? And taxing it to generate revenue to provide to the states to pay teachers, first responders, and police officers to get, quote unquote, this is what his reason behind it is, to get the quality we need in Florida. Now can we put that together? So legalize marijuana, tax it, paying first responders, teachers, law enforcement to get the quality we need in Florida. So I'm gonna throw a little funny in there. So does that mean when the police officer pull somebody over and they got a pound of weed in the car, they can go, oh, wait a minute, officer, you know I pay your taxes now with this weed. You can't arrest me. So give me your thoughts on that, man. Do you think that should even be something that a candidate even puts in his agenda, right? On his agenda, as much as Florida, I'm talking about when you probably think about the tolls alone. When I first moved to Florida, it blew my mind. I've never seen a highway that's going straight down the road and you gotta get off of that road pay a toll to get back on the same road. It's insane. I ain't never seen it like this in my life. Up from DC, I know you got to pay. You got to pay to go through the tunnel. You got to pay to go through Baltimore Harbor. You got to pay to go through New York tunnel and all that there. But to be traveling down how 417 or 428 or whatever one of them roads with a 4 on it, and you get off of it to pay a toll and then get back on the same road going in the same direction is just unbelievable. And so just in that alone, man, the Florida is making a killing. Now they want to legalize marijuana everywhere. This is just what this one guy says. District 7, Volusia, some portions of Orange County, Volusia County, Southern Volusia County, and what else did I say? And Seminole. So I'm gonna go by order of login. Rudy, didn't you log in first? What you think about that?
I have not seen that, and it really, I can't make a comment on that.
Okay, got you covered. All right, so we're gonna keep it moving. First lady, what you got on that? I mean, does this guy make sense, or is this something that we should be an absolutely just ridiculous idea? Because there's marijuana is legalized already in some areas, but this guy wants to go broad with it. What you got?
Well, as I heard you say that, I was thinking of a few things, and I'm gonna try to be quick because I didn't realize my phone was dying, and I gotta go get my cord and all of that. So before I cut off here, um, so a few things. If by legalizing marijuana, because it's kind of like what you said, but the gays aren't going anywhere, right? There's still going to be gay activity. It's no different than weed. Weed is going to be weed. People are going to do it. They're going to buy it. It'll cut down on the crimes for people going to jail if they legalize it. But if the government can make money off of that, that then benefits the taxpayers, that we're not paying more taxes, that it's going to build maybe some homeless shelters, it's going to do something for Black communities, it's going to do something for men, women, and children, then the government has always found a way. Look at that movie that we looked at about, that was a true story about the guns and stuff.
Snowfall. Mm-hmm.
So it's really technically already being done, but now that it's in the public eye, it's okay, let's legalize it instead of them being deceitful about it and doing a roundabout way about it. Doesn't mean that I'm pro weed, but I am pro people, that if it's going to make it better for our equality wise, as far as they're going to utilize that money for the benefit of communities and people, and stop taxing us, and we won't have to worry about recessions and all that. By all means, if that is a alternative notion that they feel will benefit us, then people are going to do it anyway. So if they're going to do it and it's a way to benefit the community by doing it, by all means.
Amen. Thank you, First Lady. That's good. That's good stuff. So y'all got that view. So she's for it. She's for it as long as it, has a positive impact on the economy, as the brother is suggesting. Let's go on.
Doing it and it don't impact the community at all.
Woo, what you say? Wait a minute. All right, that was deep right there. All right, let's go on all the way up to Bellevue, Florida, with Jack and Tanya Webb. Jackie Maurice Webb.
I know he gets tired of you saying his whole name.
No, he don't. He loves
it. I don't have nothing against weed. They can legalize it, but it's going to be just like the lottery. They said, oh, we're going to make the lottery and it's going to help schools and all this stuff. it's gonna be the same thing with weed. They're saying it's gonna help police or whatever. It's not. It's gonna go into whoever's idea it was. It's gonna go in the big politicians' pockets. They're the ones that are
Woo!
gonna get all the
That's
money.
deep.
You know what I
Watch
mean?
out, Jack. Somebody gonna come knocking at your door.
Huh?
I say, you
What?
better watch it. They gonna come knocking at your door.
Come on.
Hell yeah! No, go ahead.
This is senior ground state, so they're welcome to stop by.
Oh, they better not. No, no. We bind that in the name of Jesus. They ain't coming. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jack.
But it's just like anything they say. And politicians. That's why they're called politicians. They say what they have to say to get in office, and then once they're in office, they're like, "Well, I'm here now. Ain't nothing you can do about it." So, like I said, I have nothing against weed. Weed, for all I ain't seen weed save lives. So, and that's like with illnesses, and even when it comes to the streets. So, I'm fine with them legalizing weed, but it's not going to be how they think it's going to be, where it's going to help other people. The government is legalizing it because they see there's so much money in it, and they want their cut. It's as simple as that.
Woo, Jack.
That was good.
Jack and
That was
Maurice
good.
Ware.
That was
That's
good.
it. We can shut it down. We ain't got to say nothing else about that. Go ahead, Tony. What you got?
I totally agree with Jack. I think that's just something else to get totally corrupted, and there'll be very little coming out of it. It'll be a bunch of empty promises. And it's just a tool for more politicians to put enough money in their pocket. That's it. That's all it is. They're going to use it, and then they're going to
Okay.
turn around and say,
Amen.
well,
Yes, indeed.
it's
Yes, indeed.
this and it's that, you know.
Yes, indeed. So that's good too. Yep. Cat Williams said what Cat Williams said. He said marijuana is just a plant. It's not drugs. It's just a plant, and it's just grow like that. And if you should just so happen to set it on fire, there are some effects. All the way to Potomac, Maryland.
Hello. So yeah, I agree with Cat Williams. Um, I believe drugs are man-made. If you have to add something to it, you got to do something to it. You got to make some type of process. Even alcohol, I believe that that's a drug. And if you go back in our history, until they figured out how to tax it, alcohol was illegal too.
Woo! Yes, indeed. You're right about it.
So, they just trying to figure out how they can make money off of it. But as far as it going towards the schools and stuff, just like, yeah, in Florida, they do say all those tolls go to the school system. Me living in Maryland and then moving to Florida and then coming back, the county that I was in was Polk County.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very happy that, all Polk County schools offered lunch. So if they actually do what they say they're going to do, then fine. Go ahead, figure out how to tax it and make it legal. Because it is just like, I live in Maryland, DC area. It's legal up here, recreational use, medicinal use, however you want to use it. Um, you can't, if you get pulled over, they can't do anything for the smell of weed in your car up here. And you can't have more than, I believe it is 2 ounces or something on you, maybe an ounce.
Wow.
Different states. DC is different than Maryland as far as how much you can have.
Uh-huh.
I think DC is 2 ounces, Maryland's an ounce. But yeah, it's different things, and they do tax you more, just like out when you go buy alcohol. If you ever pay attention to your receipt, you paying a higher tax on alcohol than you are groceries in the grocery
Yeah.
store. So
Mm-hmm.
if he's gonna make that promise, then he needs to stand to it and figure out a way for that money to actually go to schools. Because now living here in Maryland and Montgomery County, they don't offer free lunches to everyone.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Have to have you have to be low income to get reduced or free lunch, and then that means that you have to have something going through the state already. You need to be signed up with WIC or food stamps or get some type of government assistance for your child to get reduced or free lunch. So in Florida, if that's what they're gonna make happen, then hey, more power to them. But I know I enjoyed sending my child to school when I lived in Polk County, and I ain't have to worry about lunch.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Amen. Amen. All right. All right.
You bring a
Uh,
good point because I thought that was something that was done nationwide, and that's
right.
actually a good. I never realized that it's significant to where you live at.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Ain't that something? Yeah. Hey, Peter Tosh, long time ago, he wrote that song, Legalize It. Well, they've done it. All right, so hey, we're getting ready to go right now to I appreciate y'all, all your comments on that. Give me your thoughts. What we hope for is that all these politicians, man, going do what they're supposed to do when they get in office. Wouldn't it be great if we can just do away with Republican and Democrat and all that, and we all they are? Why can't it just be all under one government? You know what I'm talking about? Where they care and want the best for all of America, all Americans. But isn't it sad that it got to be a Republican way and it's different from a Democratic way? If it's a Democratic way, it's different from a Republican way. Right wing, left wing, bat wing. I don't care what it is. It's ridiculous that we are dealing with these people who we elect and they can't seem to get it together. There's this constant melee of confusion and fighting amongst each other just to gain power, just to gain control. Guys, it's a lost cause, man. It really is to me. I don't even know if I'm a vote. Okay, so we're going to go into our topic for tonight. And the topic for tonight is on bullying in our schools and these SRO officers. Babe, did you get your cord for your phone?
No, not yet. Cause I
Grab your
gotta
phone.
go downstairs and stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. If you got enough time to hold you up, okay. Um, this is a very serious matter um, with our schools. Did you ever think? Could you ever even have imagined that we would have to have a fully armed uh, technical law enforcement officer at our schools? Now, babe, I talked to Rob, Montana Rob today. Rob, I talked with him. He thought he'd log in with us, but I guess not. But he had actually uh, uh, did something back 21 years ago in their schools um, up in Montana, and let me see. Let me just tell you what he had said. So he had said. He said, we have been helping our son in Kansas. Nope, that ain't the one. Yeah, that's it. Let me view. Let me get all of it. He said that he would love to see tonight's podcast. SROs are in an interesting development. He says we put one. Hey, babe, you gotta go on mute if you're leaving the phone. So he said that we put one in our schools about 20 years ago, and I went to the school board meeting to voice my objection. Okay, you gotta I got you on mute, babe. You gotta unmute again if you want to say something. So hold on. So he said that he actually went to the school board to voice an objection. Not sure how he feels now, but probably still doubt their effectiveness. So Rob, all the way in Montana, doesn't feel that SROs in our schools are effective. Now, but let's backtrack and go to bullying. So I remember, I don't know, by show of hands or if you could say anything, have anybody ever been bullied in school when you're in school? Jack, you were bullied? Who bullied you? The principal? No. So I know that was good, right? Who would bully Jack Webb? Nah, man, you want me messing with Jack? I got bullied. So bullying. you know, I urge our listeners right now, our parents, get to your kids, talk to your kids about bullying. They don't have the right to school, go to school and bully nobody. Ever. I don't care who it is, how big you are, or any of that. It's nonsense, it's foolishness. Talk to your kids. But we got to understand that we're dealing with a large dynamic of kids now coming to school. What am I talking about? We're dealing with kids that don't have the whole mother father element in their lives. We're dealing with kids that may have just the father, just the mother. They're being raised by the uncle, the auntie, the cousin, the sister. They may be in a family where the mothers and the fathers are drunks or drug addicts. Who knows? And they're coming to school, and that's their relief. But what they're seeing and what they're dealing with at home, they're projecting it when they get to the school. We just don't know. It's a hard mix. It's a hard balance to deal with. But these kids have got to be spoken to and dealt with this bullying thing. So I remember, I'm gonna tell you about the first 2 times I was bullied. The first time I was bullied, I was in junior high school. And I was in Fortsville, Maryland. This guy was in Sea Pleasant, Maryland. Real dark, black, charcoal black dude. I'm in the gym, in the locker room. And that's back when you wore the little blue shorts with the yellow stripe and the socks that came all the way up to your knees with the big stripes around them. And you had a matching striped shirt. It was a sight to see for a man, for the boys to wear. And this guy walks over to me, and he was like, he called because I was light skinned, and when I was in junior high school, I had long hair, and all the ladies thought I was real handsome and everything. So this guy, I guess he got wind of it, and he walks up to me in the locker room, and he was like, "What's up, pretty boy?" And I'm like, already in my mind, I said, "Dude, you're not. I'm not. I'm Jack. I'm going. I know I'm not getting ready to get bullied. Please tell me I'm not getting ready to get bullied." And so I said, "What do you mean? What's up, pretty boy? My name is Tyrone, man." Back then it was Vernon. I was going by Vernon first name. I said, "My name is Vernon." He said, and then he clowned me, "Vernon? Your parents named you Vernon?" I said, "Man, are you really?" I said, "What you guys do, man? Are you getting ready to bully me?" And his friend became my best friend, a guy named Stephon Davis, who lived in Sea Pleasant with this guy, Russell. And I say, "Man, are you seriously getting ready to start to bully me? Am I ready to get bullied by you?" He said, and then this when he was the N-word, he said, you red N, you red N. And before he could get that out, I hit this dude so hard in his chin, because I was a small little fella in junior high school. I wasn't big, real scrawny, small little dude, but I was fast, I was strong for my side. And I hit this dude on the chin so hard, Jack, I saw the whites of his eyes real quick, like that. And I knocked him out. So then his guy, Stephon, his boy came over and grabbed him and was like, "Man, what you doing, man? Leave this dude." I said, "Man, I don't need you to protect me like that." He said, "Nah, man, just let me handle this dude, because he ain't gonna stop." I said, "I ain't worried about it. I'm gonna handle mine, as he can see." So that was that, because I ain't gonna drag it on. So then I got to high school. And guys, I kid you, I got bullied by a dude that was about 6'9". His name was Floyd. And he was also dark and black as this symbol behind me. So I'm in school, and this girl tried to talk smack to me. She actually bumped me with her shoulder going down the hallway. It was just a hot mess again, because I'm light skinned with the hair and all this here. Lunchtime, we had open lunch so we could leave the building. I had a convertible Volkswagen all tricked out. So I put the girl, I've had about 2 or 3 girls in a Volkswagen. I'm going to Wendy's or Church's Chicken or whatever, and I'm coming back. So, everybody, I'm like, what y'all getting mad about? Try, get with it. Get with the program. Why you want to fight the program? So she hit me with a shoulder move, and I grabbed her around her neck and pissed her up against a telephone booth, because that's when you had the public telephones were out. So I picked her up in the telephone booth. Next thing I got hit in the back of the head, and it shook me. It shook me. And, I turned around and got my composure, and he swung on me again. Bam! Bam! A 2-piece that knocked him out. When he was on the ground, I raised my hand to hit him so hard, I split him to the white meat from here all the way down. Just split him wide open. Blood everywhere. And the principal, and this happened right in the entryway of the school, of the high school. Of course, the guidance counselor and the officers was right here. Principal, his name was Battle, Mr. Battle. Mr. Battle came out, and he knew me by name. "Vernon, stop it." And I looked at him, so immediately I jumped off. And I said, all right, all right, all right. So it gets broken up. This guy didn't even go to the school. He wasn't even in school. He had graduated school, but in high school with the open lunch, people can kind of come and go. You can leave the building and all that. I don't know if they had that down here in Florida, but that's definitely, I know Tasha, we know back in Maryland, they had that in Maryland. So I'm like, well, I don't know, Tasha might not have, well, I'm 60 years old, so I don't know how Tasha was even around it. But I'm like, okay, I'm good. So he calls me down. Next thing you know, he opens the blinds and he says, I think this is for you. And I look out and it's the dude that I hit with a big white bloody piece of gauze on his face. Like this, with about 5 other guys with him. And I look at the principal, I said, man, what are you calling me down here for this? Why ain't the police arresting this dude if you think that's the dude I fought with and you couldn't tell it was him by boom? I wound up getting suspended for 5 days behind defending myself now from a dude that didn't even belong in the school. So when I finally get back to the school, it had gotten around. Nobody knew who I was at the time. This 6'9" dude named Floyd. I'm up in the upstairs because the school had 2 levels. So I'm going to one of my classes. I was in the 10th grade. John, my oldest brother, was in the 12th grade. And this dude bullied me because he knew Jackie, the girl named Jackie. That was her name, Jackie. And he said, yo, man, what's up, man? I heard you messing with my girl, Jackie. Did you grab her? I said, man, you don't get your big, and I wasn't scared, y'all. I really wasn't. I said, man, you don't get your big, black, ugly butt out of my face. Man, let me tell you, he was ready to jack me up. I knew that was a losing battle with this dude because he was 6'9". His hands. I was like, what am I doing? But my oldest brother, somebody yelled to him and said, hey, man, you better leave that dude alone. That's Big Turk, brother. Now, my oldest brother had hands like Thor's hammer. His hands this big. And if he hits you, you're not getting up. Something breaking. He was like, man, you better leave that dude alone. That's Big Turk, brother. He said, oh, my man. All right, what's up, little Turk? What's up? I said, oh, yeah, oh, no, it's on now. What? No, I ain't starting no trouble. But I was like, I got caught on blacks now because I'm Big Turk, little brother. But I got bullied, man. In a place where there's learning supposed to take place. Let's get back on target where you're supposed to be learning and developing yourself. You got to deal with these folks that come to school to do something else. That's not why they're there. Or it's part of the reason why they're there. Or they don't know anything else. And it's a hard piece. And back then, it wasn't these SRO officers. It weren't really, anybody to deal with that. You had your principal, vice principal, your guidance counselor. So, in this bullying thing today, and slash these SROs that are in schools to protect us from the shooters, we want these SROs to protect us from the shooters. I'm going to go into that piece now, and then we'll comment. We'll take the next 15 minutes we're going to go an hour to hour 15 minutes, no longer than 8:15. And we go into these SROs, and these SROs, guys, are protecting our kids, or are they? This is the question. You got, I think, 4 main entrances, right? You got the front of the school, you got, I guess, 2 side doors and maybe a back door. So you're talking about 4 entrances. How can one officer be expected to man that entire grounds? You're talking about inside the building as well. I say we don't need him inside. We need you outside managing the property. One thing that I ride with Evangelist in every morning, she leaves for work and I'll get on the phone with her because it's dark outside when she's going to work. It's early a.m. and I'm with her all the way to work. And when she gets on her property, one of the things she does is she goes around the entire property. Before she don't just get to work, get out, go to office. She roams the entire property to see what she could see. Because, the streets come out at night. People are out at night and in the dark doing stuff. So she roams around her property to make sure her property is safe, first of all, for her to get out. And then that the people on her property are safe and it's nothing for her. And then she gets the report from her security officers and whatnot. So that's what these officers need to be doing. They need to be at all times, to me, moving in about the school, not posted up in their cars, not posted up, at the front door, kicking the willy with, hey, officer such and so, hey, y'all, what's going on, this kind of thing. Now, I don't quite know the criteria of what they do, and I hope that that's what it is. That you are constantly and vigilantly watching, because guess what? And you got to be doing this all at different times. You can't do it at the same time, because shooters can be peeping you and watching you, and for weeks or a year, they could be training or leading up to this attack and taking long range shots at bottles and stuff, and take him out long before he get there if his plan is to be shot and killed himself. So bullying SROs in our schools, it's kind of a combination, because they also got to deal. I've watched many a video where I done seen an SRO officer pick up a student and body slam him to the ground, to the concrete, because they belligerent. 90% of the time it's a black student. It's being done by a white cop, and it's a black student, but they're body slamming these children with these little frail bodies and bones on the ground because they're belligerent or they're talking smack to the officer or whatever they're doing. So what do you guys think about that? I'm going to open the floor for your comments on that. Rudy, I'm going to start with you again. You got any comments on that?
No, I'm just listening.
All right. Thank you, Rudy. We appreciate you as always. Although Rudy listens, we're grateful for Rudy listening and joining in with us. Babe, you got anything on that? You want to go, or do you want to go last? And round us up, because remember, we're just going to go no later than 8:15. You want to end it for us? You?
Babe, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I'm gonna actually have to go. I need to go and tend to mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but thank you guys for coming on the show. Really appreciate you guys. Hang out with Pastor Tyrone and Babe. I'll call you once I know the show is over. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
I'll call you. Go ahead. Give my hug from everybody. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Jack. What you got? And Tanya.
Oh, I was just waving bye to your wife.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. What you got? I'm going to you.
Yeah. For starters, I wanted to say, just to mess with you, the two stories you told, yeah, that's not being bullied. Those were just two guys that wanted to fight you. I was actually bullied. Like, I used to fight in school, during school, after school. That happened from junior high school all the way to high school. But bullying starts from how you talk to your children. You have to let your children know, not so much for them to, not even so much for them being bullies, but if they're being bullied. You have to always let them know that you're there for them, because kids being bullied don't even want to come home and tell their parents that. I used to come home and tell my parents, like, yo, these kids mess with me. My parents would get in the car and go out and confront these bullies, but if the parents are not involved, your kid's going to get bullied. The big thing about bullying these days is not like it was when we were kids. Because when we were kids, it was a face-to-face thing. Most of this bullying now is social media. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff happens on social media. It's not even like physical bullying anymore. I'm more sure it's out there, but majority of it is all social media. And that's another thing that can be controlled, because that's a lot easier to stop bullying, because you can delete the person. You don't have to go on social media. But it's not as bad as it's not like it used to be. It's not so much physical stuff. It's like very rare you hear bullying stuff physical. You hear these kids just committing suicide, and that's because they're not telling their parents what they're going through. Their parents are not aware of what they're going through. The parents have to step up and be like, hey, everything all right in school, you can talk to me. Parents really don't do that. Parents are working nowadays. They're not really paying their kids no attention. And I think those are the ones that really getting bullied, the ones who not getting any attention. But the kids who have attention, and kids that come from big families that have brothers and sisters, they're not the ones being bullied. And I still say the majority of the bullying is social media. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. That cyber stuff. Absolutely. Tanya, thank you, Jack. What you got on that?
I don't agree with Jack.
All right. That's what I love.
we have
Bring it
children.
on.
We have children that have been bullied recently, and it wasn't like a kid just wants to fight them. We like my son had a random attack. He was attacked. The child was 2 feet taller than him. He's just starting out junior high school. He goes to church every Sunday. He's a good kid. He's a little goofy, but he's a good kid. And he gets slammed to the ground by this kid because the kid thought he did something to him. He was totally wrong, totally out of pocket. And from that incident, it turned into several different incidents that were happening in school because they thought, oh, now we're going to steal on this kid because this is the target. And guess what? I talk to my son all the time. He never told me. The only way that I found out is because I kept asking questions, but it was months and months of this going on with several random different kids where I really got upset to the point where I had to step to the lady that was standing outside. Like, how does this happen and you didn't see nothing? And then to the principal calling all kinds of people, and really started something. I was threatening to call the newspapers and everything on them.
Oh
Like,
wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
not gonna steal on my kid. I was mad because I handled bullying different. You know what I mean? I just got a different thing with me, and it's like either I'm not gonna stand there and talk. We ain't gonna no, we ain't gonna we gonna fight, or we gonna just you gonna go away.
Yes.
It's one
Yes.
of
Yes.
those. You know what I mean? My kid
Yeah. Uh-huh.
good kid. He didn't expect it. It took him by surprise. He got hurt. His glasses went into his back. It was a bad situation. And it just happened randomly. And it had nothing to do with social media because my kids aren't really on social media like that. He didn't have no way of being on social media at the time. It had to do with they targeted him. And I
Right.
handled it a little bit differently because I had him pulled out of the school and put in a private school. He now is, doing really well for himself, and he's in ROTC, and he's doing really good right now. Not all kids, are going to tell you that they're being bullied. There's not always a cause and a reason for it. Bullying is crazy. And with the SROs, yeah, I've never seen any of them that are really fully attentive and doing anything besides greeting people walking through the door. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could be armed to the teeth in a car, but if dude walked in and you didn't even see what he had on him, what good are you? You're gonna be there after the fact anyway. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't get the school resource officer uh commune thing that they do. I just don't get it. Like we have a bunch at the elementary school, and I've never seen it like that before. It's a lot of them. They even have a speed trap right there. So it's totally different than I've seen at most schools. But that's rare. You don't see that at every school. Like towards the middle school and the high school, there's only one truck that you see that's out there. And it's like, how you covering over 400 kids between the two schools? So the two schools are next to each other. So, yeah. Oh, do they? I only see one of them. So, but still, you're talking about older kids, and there's more police at the elementary school than there is at the junior high school and the high school that are right next door to each other. Like, it's yeah, and then they put the weakest dudes over there. So it's like if it really goes down, Gopher over here ain't gonna really be ready to pull out because he ain't ready to deal with the people out in the street.
And that's a fact. That's a fact because I spoke to a police officer. He just retired from out here in Bellevue, and we were talking about the police in the neighborhood, the Bellevue police. And I was like, yeah, I said the cop at the school. I said that's a real nice guy, because he is. He's a real cool cop. And the cop told me, he's like, yeah, he said he's too nice. That's why we put him at the school. So, he's
Wow.
like, what's going to happen if something does happen over there? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And you got to think about something. Then we're going to go to Tasha. They take an oath to protect and serve, but it's not to protect and die. So when you really give that some thought, you talking about a cat coming at them with an AK and AR, one in each hand, blasting. I don't know. You know what I mean? Do they stay in the line of fire, or do they duck and take cover? Is the training that they're getting dealing with those elements? I watched a training session that they were having, and they had the officers that were in the schools with no gear on. And I'm like, that ain't reality. Reality, they got all this heavy armor on, all this gear on. Excuse me. They may not be able to move as fast without all that gear on and things like that. So the simulation should be full on with the gear and everything that they would be confronted with, and what they would have to go to. What are they using to defuse and deactivate certain situations? So absolutely. So we'll close up after we hear from Tasha. I'll have some final comments on that. This is a good topic, but as I said, we had to just sort of condense the program because we've been going too long. Tasha, what you got on that, my dear? Thank you, Tanya. That was good stuff coming out of Bellevue, Florida.
So, I grew up and went to school in Montgomery County, Maryland, and we didn't have officers in the school until Columbine. When Columbine happened, that's when they started bringing officers into the school. But our schools up here are on lock. All the doors are locked from the outside. You cannot enter from the outside, and you can only enter from the main door. And they have cameras. You have to, if you have a student in the school, you have to show your ID at the door through the camera. The door is locked. You can't even get in. You have to show your ID, your driver's license, and they take a picture of it before you even enter into the school. They do have an officer sitting in the parking lot, but they don't come inside the school. They have security guards inside the school through Montgomery County, through the school system, that tend to fights in the school that happen between the kids. Bullying. I, honestly, and I don't want to be rude, but I feel like kids nowadays are a little soft. I'm in my 30s, so I came in on the tail end of, your mama jokes, and, people joning on each other, and we would stand around a circle and who had the best your mama jokes.
Yeah, we did
So, yeah, so, I taught my daughter, they can say whatever you want to say, but whatever the kids say at school or whoever's bullying you, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to with it may have something to do with what's going on in their home life, and they're taking it out on you. But don't take anything somebody says to you that you don't care about personally. They don't know you. They're projecting whatever they're feeling onto you. The only people that you should care about what they say about you is me and your family. Nobody else matters, because at the end of the year, when you're done the school, you're not going to see them again. I also taught my daughter to have, tough skin. I we do teasing in our family with each other. So if somebody's out school is saying something to her, it's going to roll off her back. um the internet bullying, my daughter did have some problems with the gaming systems. So, I told her, you don't have to see them. You have all control of who has access to you. And if they're saying something you don't like on the internet, block them, delete them. You have no reason to subject yourself to what anybody has to say to you on the internet. None. So I feel like it's all in how you teach your kids. You teach your kids respect to respect others, regardless of how they treat you. Always treat somebody with kindness. My grandmother taught me kill them with kindness, no matter how mean somebody is to you. At the end of the day, you're gonna wear them down with your kindness. Be respectful and ignore them. Don't entertain anything, and it has nothing to do with you. So I, I haven't had any other problems with bullying with my daughter. Myself, no, I might have been a bully when I was younger, but that was young and dumb stuff, and I corrected that. You know, when I saw what my bullying did to somebody else and seeing them cry and how I affected them, I changed that. I went over to them and I apologized to them, and then we became friends. So we have to be more proactive in how we raise our kids and what we tell them, and how they process bullying and people saying bad things about them, because it's going to happen as it happens to us as adults. We have to teach our kids how to process that.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, good stuff. Obviously, clearly, there's a lot more to be said on this thing. I was looking at Tasha. Did y'all see she had a Ghostbusters thing going on for a minute? I'm like, what's going on, man? Where's she at? You know, you walking
I
around
was
the
trying
room.
to get away from these loud kids, so I went
Yeah,
outside for a
yeah,
second.
yeah. I got you. I figured that. Yeah, man. It's a lot to be said, and this will be a conversation that we'll be able to pick up again. Uh, just for the panel, you guys, Ken and Danielle are no longer with us on the podcast due to irreconcilable differences, is what I'm going to say to that. But we still wish them well. They did help Evangelist and I go to the next level in recording and doing things. But now we have to do all the editing, because what they were responsible for was editing the material and getting it up on our platforms, and they also assisted in some other areas statistically, and we just couldn't have a meeting of the minds, Dr. Glover and myself. So we moving on, we keeping it going. Like I said, our stats are continuing to go up. YouTube is really giving us good feedback. We're doing really good with that and the content that we're putting up. So we're going to continue to be live. We're going to continue soon. We're going to start something called Restream. And Restream is going to allow us to literally go live. And that way, people who are scrolling and looking will come across us and see us already on, and then can join in with us. So we're looking forward to that happening as well. But in the meantime, you guys continue to try and change the world, man, with your conversation. Remember to tell somebody about what we're doing here, what we talk about. Try to do. And Jack, I remember a couple of weeks ago, you told me you needed me to get. You had some people that wanted to come on, and I had asked you for their email. So try to work on that.
He never gave me his email.
No worries.
Email.
Yeah, try to work on it for next week if you can. As many people as you guys can talk to, because we ain't concerned with numbers on the panel, but it's still good to have a good diverse a group of folk where we're chatting up, because we get all these different perspectives. You see, none of us had the same perspective at all on any of this content. Um, when I said, Jack, when I talked about my bullying incidences, remember I said, well, I ain't gonna go on because for the sake of moving on. The guy still tried me. He because remember I told Stephon said he ain't gonna stop because that's how he is. And I said, well, I ain't worried about him stopping because he gonna get these hands again. You know, my dad, was one of them dads that was like, well, I'm gonna tell you, you know how some of us got them dads that tell you come home with a black eye if you want. I'm gonna black your other eye. You better, you got kids that deal with that, so they gotta fight it out. You dig? But we're putting this out. So those who watch, remember that our podcast content is not for us. It's for those who are watching us, and we're talking amongst ourselves and giving this good feedback so that we can speak to those out there that are dealing with this kind of stuff, and they'll see this podcast and get an understanding. We had so much that was said on dealing with this stuff. We've even had those who have experienced it. I think most people have experienced it in one form or another. And it may not have necessarily been in school. Some people experience it on the job. Like think Tanya, one of y'all said is as adults. We experience it as adults, which is true. So we just got to continue, man, to get in the fight, be in the game. Whoever we elect in these offices, man, make sure that they have us in mind. What are we hearing about what their thoughts are on including us, including our children? And I believe that spiritually, you gotta understand the world we live in is full of hate, crime, criminals, uh, people that do things that are just unspeakable. We live in a society like that. Don't get me wrong. My eyes are wide open all the time to what we deal with. I was a part of the criminal element, and I wasn't a criminal, but I committed criminal acts to support my addiction. I did things to feed. I committed criminal acts to feed myself when I was hungry and I was too afraid to go home to my parents when I wasn't welcome around my family. I had to do what I needed to do just to eat for the day. So, a man who robs a store to feed his family, not necessarily a criminal, committed a criminal act and it's a crime, and he's got to pay the cost on that, but doesn't necessarily make him a criminal. So we got to continue to pray for the criminally minded, and that's the person that's locked up. And he talking about everybody what he did, and he's still kicking. Yeah, man, you understand me? Bad, bad, boom. And when he get out, he's thinking about the next crime he gonna commit, but this time don't get caught. That's the criminally minded, the ones who are molesting our children and all this human trafficking. We dealing with a lot on this earth, guys. We're dealing with a lot. If you stop for a moment in your day, don't think about yourself. Don't think about your family. Don't think about your job. Think about what you see every day that's happening on this earth. The corrupt, heinous, hateful acts that are happening on the earth. And yes, I go as far as Russia. As far as Russia, do we really care? You talking about a dude that's now Channel 13 News. I see you, Jack. Channel 13 and all them. We got this guy on video. They shouldn't be showing him opening his mouth, but they got him recording him talking to his constituents. But this guy decided to wake up one morning and obliterate an entire country, an entire nation of people. You man, listen. You don't get no evil. That's evil. We got evil on the earth. That's evil. Somebody that would do that. He didn't care with them bombs hit kids. You understand me? Mother Nature ain't got nothing on this dude. We talk about bad weather as Mother Nature. That's foolishness too. But we dealing with a lot. So we are a praying panel. Those of us that are on the panel, we are praying people. So let's remember to pray, daily for the earth. We got to pray for the leaders of this nation, the people that we are electing, that they stop this madness, stop fighting about who won't run the country the best, because none of them got it. None of them know what they're doing to me. Ain't got a clue. And ex-President Donald Trump, look here.
Layla, come clean up these toys. Logan, come clean up these toys with Layla.
No business nowhere near politics. Where in the world can you get away with threatening the FBI. The Republicans are threatening the FBI. What? So look, man, we dealing with some wild stuff. All right, Jack, you had something you want to say? We're ready to close out.
Yeah, you talking about, the evil things going on. I don't know if you get a chance to look up. It was just on a talk show this morning. To look up, it was he was a football coach for Little League, and he got into an altercation during a game with the the other team, somebody from the other team. But anyways, the man shot the coach on the field in front of all the kids. And you talk about how you was talking about evil people. You know what I mean? How do you shoot the coach in front of all these little kids? That all these little kids are scarred for life because you didn't shot their coach. And the coach was a upstanding coach. Like, he did a lot for the community. If you get a chance to look that up, it was somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere in Texas. Okay, yeah. We'll check that out. What we're going to be talking about next week is I'm gonna kind of double back on these little three gals, these little young teenagers in Queens that attacked this white woman, this 57-year-old white woman on the bus. And I'm talking about it's really bad, y'all, what these girls did. And if we as a people, as a race of people, as this black race, if we have any expectation, if we have, go ahead, Rudy, you say something?
No.
We as a race of people, if we honestly expect for whites to stop viewing us as savages, let's keep it real, because this is what the average, how do I want to say this? Your average white person. We already know not all white people like that. We all know there's some good white folk out there. But them ones that, and I ain't so much talking about the racist ones. I'm talking about people who are just regular white, like that like the young boy that was in the neighborhood, the two men that threw rocks at the car and all this. They might not say that was a racially motivated situation. But we don't. I think it was more of ignorance and a point of view that they have about black people than they were racist, wanting us hanging from a tree, white people, if that makes sense. So, if we really want this to stop, then we got to stop doing the stuff that we do. We cannot be sitting in a parking, an apartment complex at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then an officer pulls up on us asking us, what you doing out here? And then we jump up and shoot him in the head and take off running. There's a case right now today of this dude. He got a Haitian name, I forget his name, where he shot the cop in the head, took off running, they caught it. Listen, we got to, as a race, we got to stop this. The boy that was shot over 60 times, where they got him on video taking off in his car, but he blasting at him out his window. He blasting out his window. We got to start turning around how we act as a race, as a people. No matter what, y'all, no matter what, we got to stop turning on and acting the way we do so we can erase that stigma. We can still thug, we can still groove, we can still gangster, we can still rock, we can still do what we do as a culture. But do we have to incorporate the criminal element to it? Do we got to kill? Do we got to keep selling dope to each other and killing each other with the dope? Just because somebody gonna do it, it might well be me. Do we got to still be a race of people that do act savagely when you think about what we're doing behind guns, what we're doing? These white folk that's doing it, again, we talking about racism, evil, we talking about hatred. That's a different thing. I don't think there's many blacks running around with that element, but these three girls did. So y'all do a little research on that, and then next week we're gonna chat it up along with some other stuff. Again, guys, thank y'all for being on. Everybody good? All right.
Everybody good.
All right, Rudy, thank you for coming on. Guys, I love you with all my heart. You know I really do. Thank you for coming on. Pray for my mother-in-law. and everything, that she has a full recovery. I'll pray for y'all. Y'all continue to pray for me. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Tasha, all the way from the PM.
See you all next week.
Yes, Rudy. Peace out, Thug Crew from Bellevue.
All right.
Jack Maurice Webb and Miss Tanya.
Unnecessary to put my government name out there.
JMW. I'm gonna buy you. Look, I'm gonna get you a hat with your whole name on the front and initials on the back.
And I'm gonna get you a name. I'm gonna get you a name tag so you can sit there with your name tag on.
What are you gonna say? We're gonna say what?
Big Worm.
Big Vernon.
Big Worm. I'll put it up on the wall back here. Jack gave me that hat, y'all. See the shirt? Jack gave me a shirt. Hey man, look, we're gonna keep y'all up to date on those merch. We had a little snag on the merch where you can buy the shirts. As soon as we get that rolling, we'll let you know, and then we're gonna all get some shirts, Changing the World shirts just to wear for the show, even if we got to get them for you. Okay, so we'll let y'all know, and we'll work that out. Okay.
Bye.
All right, we'll catch y'all later. See y'all next week.
All right, later.
Bye.
Bye.